There are people who move quietly through the digital world. You see them online, you know they're there, but you rarely ever see their face. They read, they watch, they listen, they observe, but they don't feel the need to upload their own image. And what's interesting is that most people never really stop to wonder why. In a world where sharing your face feels almost automatic, choosing not to do so feels unusual. But unusual doesn't mean broken. Often, it means intentional. Most assumptions about people who don't post their photos are shallow. People quickly label them as insecure, shy, fearful, or lacking confidence. But the truth is far more complex and far more human. This isn't a story about absence or avoidance. It's a story about presence. It's about what happens when someone chooses depth in a culture obsessed with surface, when someone chooses meaning in a space driven by appearance. If you've ever opened your camera, looked at yourself, and felt a quiet hesitation you couldn't explain, this conversation is for you. Not fear, not dislike, just a subtle sense that this moment doesn't need to be shared. You close the app and move on with your day, not feeling sad, not feeling anxious, just calm. That calm is where the psychology begins. Modern life trains us to look outward for confirmation. Likes, comments, reactions, and views slowly become mirrors we use to understand ourselves. Psychologists call this external identity feedback. It's the process of defining who we are based on how others respond to us. But people who don't post their photos often live from a different center. Their sense of self doesn't depend on being seen. It's built internally, from thoughts, values, experiences, memories, and reflections. For them, identity is something felt, not displayed. They don't avoid attention because they fear it. They simply don't require it to feel real. While the world asks for visibility, they search for authenticity. While others want to be recognized, they want to be understood. This creates a quiet difference that often goes unnoticed, but deeply shapes how they move through life. Many of these individuals experience the world more like a story than a gallery. They notice atmosphere instead of angles. They sense moods instead of lighting. When they enter a room, their attention isn't on how they might look in a photo. It's on how the space feels, how people interact, what's left unsaid. Because of this sensitivity, anything performative feels unnecessary. Posting a photo doesn't feel wrong to them, it just doesn't feel needed. Some people express themselves visually, others express themselves internally. Words, ideas, actions, silence, and observation become their language. Showing their face online doesn't feel like their native form of expression. It's not avoidance, it's alignment. There's also a deeper layer that rarely gets discussed. People who don't post their photos often have a very intentional relationship with vulnerability. They understand that once an image is shared online, it no longer belongs only to them. It becomes open to judgment, interpretation, projection, and misunderstanding. And while many people are comfortable with that, others feel that something personal has crossed a boundary. For them, showing their face isn't casual, it's intimate. And intimacy, in their mind, should be earned, not broadcast. This isn't about hiding, it's about protecting something meaningful. Privacy, in this sense, isn't weakness, it's emotional strength. It takes discipline to hold something back in a world that encourages constant exposure. Often, these individuals grew up in environments where attention felt overwhelming, not traumatic, just intense. Maybe they were the quiet one in a loud family, or the reflective one among expressive personalities. They learned early that being seen doesn't always mean being understood, so they developed a softer presence, one that values calm over noise. Others may have experienced a period in life where they felt overly watched or defined by others. Over time, They learn to reclaim ownership of who they are. Posting a photo can feel like giving away a piece of that ownership. And some people simply think deeply, feel deeply, and trust slowly. They don't reveal themselves casually. Their privacy isn't a wall. It's a garden. It protects what matters. There's also something unique about how they perceive themselves. While many people relate to their image, others feel a distance between how they look and who they are. Their self-image isn't visual. It's emotional, mental, philosophical. When they see a photo of themselves, they don't feel fully represented. They feel reduced, not judged, but simplified. They aren't afraid of being criticized. They're uncomfortable with being condensed into a single frame that can't possibly carry the complexity of their inner world. They want to be known for their essence, not their appearance, and that's an important distinction. Some of these individuals are perfectionists in a very quiet way, not about looks, but about meaning. They want what they share to feel true. Forced expression feels dishonest to them. If a moment doesn't align emotionally, they don't post it. That restraint isn't hiding, it's integrity. Many also feel most at home in the role of observer. They enjoy watching human behavior, noticing patterns, understanding emotional dynamics. Being constantly visible pulls them out of that space. It disrupts how they naturally exist. And quiet doesn't mean absent. Some of the most present people in the world are the least visible. Research supports this in subtle ways. People who value privacy often have stronger emotional boundaries and higher self-awareness. They aren't withdrawing from life, they're curating their relationship with it. They know that attention doesn't equal value and visibility doesn't equal worth. When they scroll through social media, they don't feel envy or judgment. They simply feel different. There's an inner voice that says, I don't need to prove my life to feel it, and that voice guides their choices. There's also something powerful that happens when someone stays a little unseen. People listen more closely. They focus on words instead of appearances. They connect to ideas rather than images. For some, invisibility becomes freedom. Freedom to express without being defined. Freedom to exist without performing. Philosophically, many of these individuals don't feel the need to immortalize themselves through images. They live through sensations, memories, and inner experiences. Life, to them, isn't content. It's a journey. Moments don't lose value when they aren't shared. Often, they gain it. They understand something many people forget. Presence is bigger than visibility. Identity is deeper than appearance. A face is not the full story, and some experiences are more meaningful when kept close. These individuals often live with a heightened sense of inner life. Their awareness is shaped by how they think and feel, not how they appear. While a photo might say, "Here I am," for some, for them, identity lives in the invisible. Thoughts, emotions, private reflections. They don't feel incomplete without an audience. They often question why visibility is treated as proof of existence. Why must life be shown to be real? And their answer is simple. It doesn't. For many of them, taking a photo feels artificial, not because they dislike themselves, but because translating their identity into an image feels inaccurate. Every translation loses something. Representation isn't the same as expression.
They're also deeply aware that being observed changes behavior. The moment you know you're being watched, something shifts. And for those who value authenticity, that shift feels uncomfortable. So they choose presence over performance. Instead of documenting the surface of life, they document depth, reflections, insights, emotional understanding. Identity to them isn't built from pixels, it's built from consciousness. They also value autonomy. They like knowing that not everyone has access to them. Their face becomes something intentional, shared only with those who truly know them. These aren't barriers, they're boundaries, and boundaries are a sign of emotional maturity. Many of them have a different relationship with time. A photo freezes a moment, but not everyone wants moments frozen. Some want memories to stay fluid and alive. They remember how things felt, not how they looked. And for them, documenting can interrupt living.
Psychologically, they often have high private self-awareness. They're more focused on their inner world than public perception. This doesn't make them self-critical, it makes them intentional. They define themselves internally. They don't need cameras or applause to feel real. And because of that, their connections are often deeper. When they share themselves, it means something.
Some don't post photos because their personal narrative isn't visual, it's experiential. Growth, understanding, emotional milestones. These matter more than images ever could. They don't fear visibility, they fear distortion. Once something is public, it's interpreted through others' lenses. They choose accuracy over exposure.
Anonymity, for them, is freedom. It allows them to exist without assumptions. And for people with rich inner worlds, freedom matters more than recognition. Many are also highly empathetic. They feel deeply. They absorb emotional energy. And because of that, they protect themselves from unnecessary judgment or projection. Peace becomes more valuable than performance. There's something almost old-souled about how they move through life. Their face isn't a brand, it's not a statement. It's simply part of their humanity. They trust that their presence can be felt without being seen. They understand the difference between being open and being exposed. They can share emotions and insights while still protecting their image. That's not fear, that's self-respect.
They aren't against visibility. They're against unnecessary visibility. They aren't hiding, they're choosing. They value moments that happen when no one is watching, growth that doesn't need witnesses, truths that don't need validation. They know that attention doesn't create worth, and maybe that's why people sense something magnetic about them. A depth that doesn't need presentation, a presence that doesn't require a frame.
They aren't resisting the world. They're resisting pressure. They aren't seeking invisibility. They're protecting authenticity. And they understand something many people eventually realize. The most meaningful presence can't be captured. It can only be felt.